G'day, my name is Joel Rasmussen for Southern Cross Combat, and ahead of her fight at Eternal 84 on May 24, I'm talking to Miss Amena Hadaya. This interview is proudly brought to you by PRP Global. Amena, I thank you for the time. How are you this morning, actually, 30 minutes
Morning.
to the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Now, really good. Had my last lactic session for this camp, so I'm pretty stoked to have that over and done with. More hard sessions tomorrow, and then there's time to water load. So I'm very excited to be at this end of the camp.
I can imagine. Is that so? You kind of said that this is your last session for the day as well?
No, no, no. I got more sessions this Arvo,
Oh my God.
but
What's
the hardest session in the morning, so it's good to be done over and done with.
what's this afternoon's session?
Wall work and wrestling.
Is it King of the Wall?
We do that Tuesday night. Sometimes we do it Thursday nights, depending on what Joe says, but most of the time it's a Tuesday night.
I like a little insight into the camp and how the gym is, where the lactic session is the hardest session. Where it's like we're working out so hard for this fight. Like that's the difficult thing. The fighting part's easy.
Oh, compared to what we get pushed through on a Wednesday with our meat grinders and spiders on Fridays, fight's nothing.
I
The,
can
the
imagine.
levels we get pushed to in those sessions are nothing else. So yeah,
I was saying before we started recording, you were the first person I interviewed under the Southern Cross Combat banner. I'm very happy to be talking to you again. The last time I spoke to you was just before the Courtney Martin fight. You
yeah.
come out of that fight getting the W. How was that fight to you, and what do you make of your performance?
That fight to me was different to my other fights. I was obviously coming off a loss, coming off a big loss. But also I come to that fight a lot more focused and a lot more relaxed and a lot more. I don't have to be go 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 24/7. I can pick my shots and work and especially with this fight coming up, it's a 5 rounder, so it's going to be a completely different game to what people have seen before. But yeah, no, that fight was good, and I take nothing away from Courtney. Courtney's a mad striker. She's a mad boxer. She wasn't easy to get through. But it was a really really good fight, and I felt very comfortable and very relaxed in there. So hopefully we can do the same next week.
Where do you think that calmness and comfortability comes from?
I think it's just within myself. I'm starting to get better with dealing with those. Oh, what if, what if, what if, what if, and kind of just going, yeah, what if? Like, what if that does happen? I'm going to build a plan to combat that kind of thing. So, I definitely think I'm getting a better control of my mind and my emotions and my feelings and acknowledging my things, my thoughts that I'm having, and going, okay, but what if that does happen? We're going to have a game plan for that. So, I'm definitely getting better at that aspect of it.
Is that something you're like actively working towards, or does that just like come with the growth as a martial artist?
A bit of both. Bit of both. Obviously I've had a lot of fights now, so it's coming with that, but also I've got a team helping me with that, so that's really been beneficial for me. Um, and just learning. Like I've had losses and I've been beat up and whatever, and I've look at me now, like I'm back on for another fight. Like no matter what happens, we're just gonna get back up and go again. So why worry about what could happen and just focus on what's gonna happen.
Is there anything like, do you do meditation or anything to kind of
I
deal with
haven't
that?
fought.
Okay.
Yeah.
How obviously you're finding it beneficial? What type of stuff, if I can ask, what do you kind of go through with that?
We go through like why I'm feeling a certain way or how I'm feeling, and what maybe questions as to why I'm feeling that way and what we can do to turn that energy into something else. And what he'll go through questions with me, and we'll just have a general chat really. And at the end, he'll give me like little homework things to do or things to think about, or lines to say which I'll write down and I'll repeat, kind of thing. Like it's been really good to kind of have that.
Is that Have you started doing that recently? How long have you been doing
I
the
did that
sports side?
after I fought Kong Wang in or Wang Kong in Abu Dhabi in
Okay.
October.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
something I always wanted to do, but I never just did it. And then after that fight, I was like, I got to do this.
was that on the recommendation of like other people?
I always knew I needed to do it. It was just me being lazy. But yeah, it was on the recommendation of other people as well. Yes.
uh, Last time you fought, you were in WA, and I talked to you about getting a chance to fight in Australia again. This time, fighting in Sydney.
Who would have thought?
I know, right? How is that for you?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, my whole family's coming down. I got a massive family, as you could imagine. So the whole family's going to be down to watch. So that'll be lovely. And yeah, I'm just excited to be able to just drive an hour and do what needs to be done and know where all my food spots are, and then go to all my food spots after and just celebrate with my team and my family. So that would be really, really good.
Might as well just walk to work.
Pardon?
Might as well just walk to work.
Exactly.
I'm sure you've been asked this many a time before, but since you brought up the family, how is that? Are they embracing the career? How do they feel about you fighting?
At the start, my mum was probably the most like. Obviously, my mum was very like head in her legs, like hiding. And then now she loves it, and I love her being there and hearing her screaming and hearing her cheering. Like I really drive off that. And she come to one of my fights in UAE where it's all I could hear was her just like, I don't know, it's my mum. I want to make her proud kind of thing. So I was just like, "Arr." And yeah, it really uplifts me, especially because I've got lots of siblings. Like I'm one of six, so when a lot of them can come down and watch, it's a great atmosphere to have around me.
So that adds. So I know some people it can be nerve wracking, but for you, it makes you perform better.
It's nerve wracking to a certain point, and then they know when to leave me alone. And then when I'm in the cage, it's kind of it's motivating to hear them yelling and screaming because I know that there's people here that want this for me as much as I want it for me.
I was going to bring this up at the end, but since we're talking about it, you are someone yourself who was very vocal when you were in the crowd. I saw you in Melbourne, and you were going for it. You were screaming your heart out. I wanted to
Always.
ask: is that just purely like support? Are you so full of energy that you need to like scream to get it out?
Uh, I just love I love supporting my team, whether it's my partner, whether it's my friends, whatever it may be, whether it's my cousin playing soccer and he's 5 years old, whatever it may be, I will be the one screaming. I'm that person. I'm just so, I don't know, even when we're training, like you know who's yelling. It's always me. You know what I mean? I don't even know I just I want people to make sure that they know that I want this as much as them as they want it for themselves. So I'm screaming and I'm yelling and I just want to support my team as much as I can. Although a lot of them don't see it as support, they think it's annoying. I think it's supportive, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
It comes from a good place. That's the most important thing.
Exactly. And you know what? When they're down and they're hitting someone, it's like, well, more could you want people yelling at you? Like, it's great.
Correct. I'm sure they might get embarrassed or whatever, but it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, they hate it. Like my partner hates it, but I'm still gonna do it. Like, doesn't matter.
Your partner, he made his professional debut at that event. I talked to you about it before, but now after, how was that for you? Is that nerve wracking? Like, how was it?
Yeah, it's so nerve wracking because you're not in control, right? He's in control, so you can't do anything to control what he's doing or what he's about to do or his mind. You can't do anything. So, but I'm to be honest, I'm like that with all my teammates, not even just Mitchell. Like, obviously, Mitchell's worse, but when Jarrett's fighting and Colby's fighting, like I don't know if you heard me screaming for Colby, but it was insane. Like I am just so like I'll be at home and I'll be at the TV and I know they can't hear me, but I can't see it. Like I have so much care for all of them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. Can't even explain it.
I think that makes you a good teammate. Better than
Yeah, I'm a
being.
great teammate. I talk a lot. I'm a bit annoying, but I'm great.
I think that's better than being disinterested.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited. You never know what you're gonna get next.
It's funny that you kind of have that when someone else is fighting, but then when you're in there, you're like, I'm calm and I'm collected and I feel good.
Yeah. Calm, collected. To some extent. To some extent.
You can
Or I'm
have
really
the
good at hiding it.
you can have those quotes if you want. You can put that quote calm and collected. You were fighting Jacinta Austin for the first ever Eternal flyweight title. What are your thoughts on Jacinta as a opponent?
I mean, she had a lot to say in her interview with you, but I mean, she's a great striker. We used to train together, as she said. And I just think it's going to be a hard fight. It's never going to be an easy fight. I've never had an easy fight. Um, I'm fighting someone. I've fought two people fighting on the road to UFC this weekend. Kong Wang was a hard opponent. She wasn't an easy person to get through. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be blood. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. It's not going to be a boring fight. So I'm very excited to just put everything we've been working towards into that 25 minutes
You
or
talked
less.
you talked about her take and what she said. Um, Both you and her in other interviews have spoken about training together, and
Mm.
it always ends with, but that was a long time ago and we're different people now.
Yeah.
Um, However, when you hear what she said, even though she ended it with that, is there any feeling of she's underestimating you?
Oh, 100%. But I'm always been kind of in the underdog, um, which I don't mind. I like being the underdog. I got more to work towards and more to achieve, I guess. And I don't mind being the underdog. Obviously, she's coming in from Octagon. I'm coming in from UAE Warriors, and yeah, I don't mind. I mean, as I said, she had a lot to say. She said she used to bash me and whatever, and I'll let her think those things. She can say what she has to say, and we'll see how it goes next week.
She is traditionally she's been a strawweight throughout her career. She's fought a flyweight once before this. She's coming up to flyweight. What are your thoughts on her kind of making that jump up in weight?
Jacinta's she's yeah, like she said, she's quite a big straw weight. From my understanding, we actually walk around at the same weight anyway. But this time it's a bit different for me, so that'll be fun. But her coming with the flyweight, it's a big move for her, obviously for her career. But like she said, it's if it's for the right reasons, then why not? Um, I know she did used to turn down a few other flyweights because maybe it wasn't for the right reason. But that's between her and them. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight, and I think she's going to get a bit of a shock when we get in there. Yeah,
Uh,
I'll leave it at that.
Through your professional career, you're someone who's fought at a few weights too. You had your professional debut at bantamweight, if I'm not mistaken.
No, 54 kilos opposite.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. But
Yeah,
have
I
you
fought
have
it four twice.
okay, I apologize for that. It's my mistake. Um, but obviously now flyweight is kind of your home. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
what was
Because
it?
I used to be smaller then.
Okay, so how has that kind of development been for you to really become like a flyweight?
It's been great. Obviously, I've been working with my dietitian, we've kind of had a game plan the whole time. It was whether I stick to flyweight or go to strawweight. We've kind of stuck with the flyweight thing, and we've really been working on building me as a flyweight, which is what's happening. Hence the gum and the water. Um, so with that, and also with my strength and conditioning coach Chris Jaffrey, we've been working on really when I'm off camp, like out of season or I'm really far from the fight, doing a lot of heavy lifting and explosive stuff and really building my muscle, and that's what we've been working on, and it's definitely paid off. So yeah, it's been really really good, and I feel like I'm definitely a flyweight anymore. I'm definitely a flyweight, so I don't think I can get down to that lower weights anymore.
Talking about the water and the gum, is it worth the trade off?
Yes, it is because I don't know. I'm a massive foodie. Like my life is food. But yeah, it's definitely worth a trade off. It's not, as I said, I've said this probably before. Nothing feels better than getting your hand raised in front of a crowd, especially when that crowd is your family, and especially when you put so much hard work into something and you've given up so much to finally be there, to know it's over and you've come out on top is like a feeling next to none. And yeah, I don't think I can ever get that feeling from anything else. Even on my wedding day, probably won't. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like a whole different kind of feeling. And yeah, it's definitely worth the trade off.
I saw in
I feel like
another
I need a sponsorship from Extra, that's for sure.
that could be next on the list. I saw in another interview, you were talking about, yeah, that post fight, you're going to be able to go out, friends, family, and also you didn't get the opportunity really after the last fight. It's kind of a
No,
quick turnaround for you.
yeah.
Uh, what is like the spot to go to for you after a fight when you're in Sydney?
To be honest, I just love like hot chips from like a kebabi. Like, I don't like kebabs. Don't get me wrong. I don't like kebabs, but I like going to get like a nice hot chips, a pizza, or like goslomet or something like really just like carby. Like I'm off. I'm not a sweet. I've got a sweet tooth. Don't get me wrong, but I love carbs and I love bread. So I'm just like I've already got my little list ready to go, and it's gonna be like pizzas, breads, chips. Like I'm ready to go. I prepare my food like my food orders before we're about 2 3 weeks out. I'm like, I know where I'm going at this time and this time.
Are you getting a chance to maybe enjoy some time after this fight? Maybe stay in Sydney a little bit.
We're only staying for one extra. We're like staying the night of the fight, and then the next morning we'll be heading back home to Wollongong, which is only like an hour away, so it's not too far. But my partner's also a massive foodie, so I feel like we'll hang around in Sydney for a bit, get lots of food, get a bit fat, and then see what's next.
Well earned.
Thank you.
Uh, Talking about a sponsorship, you're a PRP Global athlete. And I'm not a tattooed person. But I know tattooed people, and I always don't want to ask, what does a tattoo mean? Because they don't have to mean anything. That being said, your PRP Global shirt is your dragon tattoo, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
correct.
Uh, I assume that has some sort of significance. I was wondering why pick the dragon imagery.
I just think the dragon is a symbol of a martial artist, and that's me. Also, I don't really like my face on shirts, so it was my face or my tattoo, and I was like, oh, I'll go with the tattoo. I hate my face on shirts. I don't think anyone would want to look at a shirt and see my face. So I'd much rather wanted to go down more of the streetwear rather than my face on a shirt.
I would have to imagine it's odd to see other people wear it. Like, that's me.
Yeah, I don't want my face on a shirt. We don't need that. I'll just put a pretty picture or something. I had another shirt made by another girl prior to this, and it was a yin and a yang out of fish. And one of the fish had all different types of foods, burgers, dumplings, everything, and the other one was the other half of me, like with the tail and stuff. So everything kind of ties into what I am, which is I really just love food, to be honest.
Of course, like it's different. Who doesn't? And this may be a question. Like, I understand it's different for a fighter because you're an athlete, you're a person of interest, and so you
Mm.
can like sell merch and stuff. But like, is it strange that people even wearing t-shirts with like your name on it? You're like, that's me.
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty cool. I come to the gym. I'm like, I got like 6 people wearing my shirt. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. Woo, go me, one for me.
You spar them and you're like, I own you.
Yeah, pretty much. That shirt, that's mine.
That's mine. Um, Talking about PRP, they've kind of like burst onto the scene a little
Mm.
bit. I feel like they've really kind of come in, got a at the moment they've got like a stable of athletes. Um, how did you kind of become to be involved with them?
Um, Ryan messaged, well, obviously through Colby because Colby was the original, and then Ryan messaged me on my way to or on my way back from UAE Warriors. And then we just had a chat about things we wanted and things we could work towards and things we could do together, and yeah, then like just kind of became that.
Colby Thickness, a man who has his face on his shirt. What do you
Yes,
think that says about Colby?
it's very Colby.
uh,
I couldn't bring myself to do it. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not as pretty as Colby.
oh well, I mean, who is?
That boy loves himself.
um, with that sponsorship from PRP Global, I saw a post from them just before this interview. The profits are going to you, helping you with your camp and everything. Having them on board, how has that made essentially your life easier as an athlete?
It's made my life so much easier. Just not having to think or to stress about, okay, if I'm going to book this, how much money am I going to have for this? Then I'm going to book this, and how much money am I going to have for this? And also just knowing that if I do need help, that they're there, whether even if it's not for, a flight or accommodation or for my actual fight, like my sponsorship that they give me, that they always, do you need this? Is there anything else I can do for you? They help me with things outside of actual fight stuff, which has been really nice. And it's kind of like we're like a little family almost in a way because everyone's like we'll text each other, we'll message each other, we'll ask each other how each other is going. Like with Colby's last fight, everyone was there and we're all celebrating together and we're all friends. Like it's not just like, oh, here's a sponsorship, that's it. It's like we're building this brand together, we're building this community together, and it's been really nice. And just knowing that we've got like Ryan and Pat have been amazing because you've always got if you've got a problem or we've got a question, we'll sort it out for you, no worries, and we'll have a chat. And they've been really, really good like that, and it's made everything both like obviously money wise amazing, but also mentally amazing. Like I don't have to think about these other little things. So it's been really, really nice. And yeah, the boys are mad to have on board. We love them, and yeah, they're really good guys. Just in general, they're just really good guys to have around.
I know some of the stuff they've helped some other fighters with, like outside of fighting, but you kind of touched on it there. If I can ask, what is some of the stuff outside of the cage that they've helped you with?
Or just like even like so they help me out with my psychology appointments. So they take care of that kind of stuff with me, which has been really nice to have on board. And then I mean, nutrition is within fight stuff, but like they'll take care of my nutrition, and yeah, that's been amazing to have. And obviously, like I wanted Mitchell to be at my fight in Perth. They got me to SWAT, like you know what I mean, like just those kinds of things. Like if I needed anything else for this fight, they'd be like, if I needed, like I got asked them for a heart rate monitor. He got me a heart rate monitor. Like it's just like just things like that I need, not need, or more so want just to kind of track my health and my overall performance and stuff like that. But they never kind of second question it. It's just like, all right, yeah, we'll get this for you. And it's always, is there anything else we can do for you? Or how are you doing? Or we're doing this. Can you help us design this? And we're very involved with PRP in terms of like designing shirts, and they'll ask us for their opinion, for like for our opinions on things. And it's really like something we're kind of growing together. So it's been really nice.
They don't just put your face on a t-shirt and be like, that's
No,
the shirt, be happy
no,
with it.
no. We actually got to put in a lot of like thought and stuff with the shirts. We've got to really, really make them our own, which was nice to have. So yeah, I really love having them on board, and I really enjoy our little kind of community we're building.
With this upcoming fight, Jacinta's been fighting overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a deal over there, and you know whatever. Was this on your radar as a fighter? Was the possibility of you fighting her, something you had considered?
Well, I never thought it was on a radar because I know that she said no to fighting at flyweight. So I think might have been last year, the year before. She said no to fighting Chelsea because she wanted to fight at flyweight. She said strawweight was her home. She said there was someone else I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just remember her saying that I'm not a flyweight. I'm not gonna. Why would I fight at flyweight kind of thing? So it was kind of like it really in the back of my mind. I never really thought she would fight at flyweight because she's a strawweight. But when Joe sent me her name, I was like, what? Like she's fighting a flyweight? Like I was obviously there was reasoning behind it now that it's for a belt and stuff like that. But even before it was announced that it was going to be for a title fight, she had already accepted it. She had already her name was already put up. So I was very surprised. Joe kind of always said, "Oh, you know, just be careful. You know, she might be training. You might have to fight her one day." And in the back of my head, I'm like, "Nah, no way. Like she's a strawweight." So I was very shocked and excited at the same time when I got this match up. So yeah, very, very, very surprised, but very, very happy. And it's going to be a really good fight, and it's a massive opportunity in fighting for the eternal belt. Like, what more could you want?
You are in the running to be the first person to hold this title. This is the inaugural female flyweight title. Everyone gets their name stamped on the belt when they hold it, and it always means something. But you can be the first. What does
Yeah.
that mean for you?
Oh, everything. Just also what the weight of the belt, especially have an eternal belt. It holds a lot of meaning in the MMA world in Australia. So yeah, it'll be huge. Also, just being a headline of an event as well. I don't think girls have ever headlined an eternal fight. So that's kind of huge for us as well to really kind of put the girls on show and just say like we can do this just as good as we can, just as good as the boys can do it. So yeah, it is really really nice, and that belt's gonna be that belt's gonna be nice to wrap around my waist.
I was going to ask next about how is it to headline.
Huge. I didn't even know we were the main event. I just thought, oh yeah, we're fighting for a belt, but there'll be somebody else in front of us because generally boys always, you know, they will take the reins. But no, they gave it to us, which I'm super stoked about. It gets to be, you know, it's our fight night. It's not this fight night and this fight night. It's Austin versus Hadaya, so that's really really cool. Yeah, to kind of be the main feature.
When talking about stuff like this, I'm always conscious of like you're an athlete and you're going out to do the best you can and for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily mean to like sound like I'm like putting all of feminism on your back to be like you're doing it, you know.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm now about to do that. No. But I know there's like a good kind of girl group at freestyle, a little bit in the MMA, a lot in the jits classes as well. I think there's like women's only nights.
Yeah. More in the jits. Yeah, there's not any other girls in the MMA section. It's always me with the boys.
Do you ever get a chance to go? Do you go to those Jits nights?
No, because that's like that would be my sixth session of the day.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, so I already do on Mondays. I already do 4 or 5 sessions. So that would be an added session onto it. So no, I don't really do that, but we do rolling ourselves Monday morning, and there's always girls there anyway.
Hmm. How is like? Do you feel in the gym the kind of development of women in the martial arts space?
It's definitely building. It's definitely slower in Australia than it is in other parts of the world, but it's definitely building and it's definitely becoming bigger and more women are becoming involved. So that's been really nice. Wish there was more, but at least it's happening and at least it's building. So I can just be happy about that.
And now this is the second time in your professional career you're fighting for a professional title.
Mhm.
The first time you fought for a belt, you were 2-0 as a pro. Now you've had significantly more experience. Uh, the woman who fought for the first time you fought for a title compared to now, how do you feel you've developed as a fighter?
Oh, a lot, a lot. I'd only been at freestyle. I don't think I'd even been at freestyle for a year. Um, Maybe not even for a year. It wasn't last year. It was yeah. I don't even think I had been at freestyle for a year when I fought for that belt. So it was a huge opportunity to start off with. Um, but I've had a completely different camp and I've got a completely different mindset. And overall, I'm just a completely different fighter. I've had a lot more experience since then. I fought international opponents. I fought girls who are big, girls who are strong, and yeah, I'm just a completely different fighter. And as I said, I'm sure she is as well. Like we haven't trained together. I'd only been at freestyle for 4 months when I trained with her last. I'm a completely different fighter to what I was then. So it'll definitely be interesting to see.
Now if I'm not mistaken, I don't know the date, but after between your last fight and now you had a birthday.
Yes,
Happy
yes.
happy birthday for that. Did you get a
Thank you.
chance to celebrate?
Yes, but not heaps because Mitchell was fighting. Oh no, he had just fought. No, we did. We went up to Bondi. That's right. We went up to Bondi for a couple of days and
Oh,
just chilled up there and got a bit fat, and then I kind of got this fight locked in.
then came back down to work.
Yeah, back to reality.
Yeah, actually. Well, hopefully after this fight, you might get a chance to pick up on birthday celebrations and everything else.
Yeah, I think we might end up heading down to Hex to watch our boys fight, Jarrett and Justin. So maybe instead of fighting in Melbourne, we'll be eating in Melbourne and celebrating with them, and then we'll catch up with some friends over there. Hopefully, I think that'll be a nice little getaway until we get into the next camp.
Fantastic. That sounds like a plan.
Mm.
I know we've spoken about him already in this interview, and he'll love that we're giving him time.
Is
But
this Colby?
yes, because last time I spoke to you, you talked about dropping him on concrete, which was awesome. And then I'll explain that if you don't remember. And
Yeah.
then I spoke to Justin, and Justin talked about how Colby's the bully of the gym and about
Oh
how
yeah.
he's terrible. Has there been any more bullying of Colby?
Oh, every Colby bullies everyone every day. It's that's his drive. If you don't get bullied by Colby, something's wrong with you. It's not Colby's fault. Like, yeah, he loves it. That's how he gets through his days. He just puts the rest of us down, puts the rest of us to shame, bashes us in jiu-jitsu, and then he's happy and we're just sad.
Hostile work environment.
Oh yeah. Colby's something else.
He coaches the kids' classes.
Yeah, I know. Those poor children are. You've heard him yelling, don't worry.
Amena Hadaya, I thank you so much for the time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you again. Good luck in the fight. I'd say safe
Thank you.
travels, but it's at home. I
Yeah,
hope the
pretty
car.
much,
I
yeah.
hope the car trip is good.
Yeah, we won't take my car. We'll take another car
Yeah,
for
get the
safety reasons.
load the van. Why? What's wrong with your car?
Oh, just an old car that I've had since I was 17. It's like 9 years old. And with me, it's been for 9 years. And I used to run that thing like through the ground. So, I mean, it gets me to A to B. That's all that matters.
Fred Flintstone running under the car.
Oh, everyone calls it a death trap, but I love it. It's a Toyota Corolla. They don't die. Like, they're great.
Those are very good quality
That's
cars.
my car. It's the best.
I thank you so much for the time. Thank you for talking to me today.
No, thank you.